TIFU by listening to my wife's phone call recordings, by user Serial Wisher. My wife has no filters and is a habitual oversharer who refuses to accept that she ever speaks without filters, and now I think that she's just a petty human with a juvenile sensibility. I run a restaurant with a partner, we aren't exactly friends, and 3 days ago he tells me that my wife called him to ask if the restaurant was doing fine, that she needed to cross-check that I was being true about the money we were making. Though it's hurtful as is that she doesn't trust me, she embarrassed me further by talking to him about my parents' debts that he had no idea about. My wife doesn't appreciate me helping out my parents with their debts, because I already help them out with their daily expenses. Her apprehensions make sense to me, but I've always been upfront with the money that I send them, and it is something that I can't not do when I am in a very comfortable position in my life. We both work, we're in our early 30s and we don't have any kids or plan to have any for the next 5 years, and money hasn't been a problem for the 5 years we've been married. From the conversation I had with my partner, I felt that he left out something else that my wife said to him. My wife and I had a huge fight over this, and I again had the inkling that she was trying to ascertain what all my friends shared with me and stick to only talking about that. The next night when she was asleep, I checked her call recordings. Recording calls comes in handy in her line of work. She frequently works with some local vendors who don't read and write. This is not something that I'm proud of and I were to regret later. While going on a montage about how bad my family is, she told my friend about my sister's extramarital affair before her husband died. He died because of cancer. My partner was a close friend of my late BIL, and her affair was something she only shared with us after he died. She's literally getting treated for depression because of the guilt, and my wife also told him that my sister is suicidal. She also told him that my father uses adult diapers. She had called him again in the morning, almost scolding him for telling me everything and asking him if he told me about the things she said about my family and my sister's affair. I know I invited this horror on myself by choosing to listen to the things she didn't choose to say to me, but I practically hate her now. We only fought about the money I sent to my parents infrequently, and it never seemed like she had any problems with my sister. My sister has nothing to do with our daily lives, and my wife doesn't talk to her either. I hate her for not having any filters at all. Things have been snowballing with her open mouth, and it's getting to point that it's mentally draining having to worry about her blurting out something that she shouldn't and embarrass me or someone I care about or herself. Our relationship just doesn't make sense to me right now, and I bought this on myself by poking my nose in her phone. TL, drive. My wife spilled my family problems to my work friend on call. I fucked up by listening to her call recording and now I hate her. TIFU because a deaf guy asked if I was single, by user automatic_eggplant24. This actually did happen today, but it wasn't me fucking up. Also throw away because my BF follows me on my Reddit account and I don't want to block him, lol. So my BF and I have been in a relationship for 7 months now, both 18. Anyways, toady, while I was waiting for the bus there was this guy who was staring at me. He looked like he wanted to approach me, so I put my headphones in and played around on my phone. Eventually, he came up to and handed me his phone. It was open on his notes app and it read, "I'm deaf but I just wanted to tell you that you are very pretty. Are you single?" So I took the phone and I wrote in, "I have a boyfriend." That was our whole interaction. The guy smiled and walked away after that. But just at the moment where I was typing on his phone, a group of my boyfriend's friends walked past us. They stared at me and then I could hear them talking among themselves. It did look like I was giving him my number or something. I messaged my BF explaining the whole thing to do some damage control, but I think his friends had already told him what they saw. We just got off the phone and I tried to explain that I literally didn't do anything wrong, but he doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm cheating. This is such a ridiculous situation, lol. I can't even be that mad, it's more funny than anything. How bad is my luck? Anyway, just wanted to share today's fuck up. Hopefully he sleeps on it and actually believes me tomorrow. TL, DR, a deaf guy thought I was pretty and handed me his phone asking if I was single. When I took his phone and wrote that I'm taken, my BF's friends walked past us and thought I was giving this guy my number. My boyfriend now thinks I'm cheating. TIFU by inadvertently calling my girlfriend a fat elephant, by user Digitech50. My girlfriend and I have been stuck in a bit of a rut of late, not sleeping well, zero exercise and eating very poorly, resulting in lack of motivation from both of us. We would just sit around on our phones knowing full well we weren't paying any attention to our surroundings. So an advertisement for a local gym on the radio prompted a rather spontaneous discussion regarding aforementioned lazy pieces of shit we were becoming. We have 2 kids and both work full-time, so lazy is obscure to us, After ironing out our problems and both agreeing to eat better, exercise, etc., my girlfriend told me how her dresses don't feel as loose as they did a few months ago, and she went into detail about how much weight she had gained in such a short space of time, to which I replied with, well, at least we addressed the elephant in the room, a phrase she had never heard before. A phrase that, for a split second, would be the cause of my untimely death. Oh, if looks could kill. I spent the next few minutes frantically googling the phrase to convince her that I was talking about the problem in its entirety, and our inability to address it until now, not that I thought she was an actual fucking elephant. Eventually, she did see the funny side. TLDR, girlfriend and I got stuck in a rut and got lazy. Girlfriend gained weight. Finally spoke about us and our problems. Told her she looked like an elephant. Huge misconception. Hilarity ensued. TIFU by telling my 10-year-old I'd eat a foot-long hot dog whole if she got all A's, by user the Manadork. This happened a few months ago. My daughter does very well in school. Last year was a very rough year for my family. My Phil passed away from COVID. They were closer than I've ever been with someone. Her grades slid a bit, as to be expected. From up to a few CS. Not upset about that in the slightest. But she was hyper-distracted all school year last year and over the summer. She asked, Dad, what would you do if I got all A's? I don't remember her asking nor my response, but she said that I said, I'd eat a foot-long hot dog whole and stream it if she got all A's. That 100% is something I would say. Now I'm staring down the end of the semester and her 95% plus average is staring me in the face. I do not want to do this, but I am a man of my word. At this point, I'm trying to find a brand of wiener that sells footlongs. I keep thinking about how I'm going to look like a seagull trying to eat that hot dog. She wants me to stream it so bad. I keep telling her I don't think my 22 followers give a flying footlong. I'm trying to figure a way to just film it and put it on YouTube. Sorry for my rant. I'm proud as hell of her and couldn't be happier, for her grades. Just not excited about this. TLDR, told my kid I'd eat a hot dog in one bite if she got all A's, and boy did she deliver. For everyone asking, https://www.youtube.com/theminatork is my channel. Blue Potion Vial. Oh boy. TIFU when I encouraged my roommate's dad to follow me to his son's room, by user Nazgul number 9. Yesterday my roommate's dad decided to show up at our apartment unannounced. I answered the door and invited the dad to come inside. I was high as fuck at the time, but I did the same shit I always do when I'm pretending not to be high. I would repeatedly stop my eyes from closing at the last minute before blinking. I have no idea why I do that or how it even became a thing, but I imagine I just end up looking like I'm struggling not to fall asleep instead of looking less high. The dad could tell I was stoned and I could tell that he could tell, so to avoid prolonged eye contact, I literally turned my back towards the dad and encouraged him to follow me to his son's room. The dad said he was willing to wait in the living room until his son was ready to see him, but I insisted that we go to the source. It was the weed talking. As we approached my roommate's room, it was obvious from the noises that he was having sex. I was aware that my roommate was having sex long before his dad showed up, but somehow I forgot to remember that until it was too late. The dad and I heard my roommate calling his GF a slut more than once, which prompted the dad to knock on the door and make his presence known with a pissed-off tone in his voice. That was my cue to walk the fuck away. Even though I didn't stay to watch the fireworks, I heard the dad yell at my roommate for being disrespectful and degrading towards his GF and threatening to tell his mom. When the dad was done speaking his mind and stormed out, my roommate and his GF had nothing good to say to me and I did not blame them. Because of me, my roommate is now gonna get regular visits from his parents every week. TLDR convinced my roommate's dad to follow me to his son's room while I was high and the son was having sex. No happy ending for anyone.